Yeah, it is the kind of it represents some kind of personal reminder to be here, to be present in that imaginary destination where all the messages from the book are. The title sounds simple, but I think it can be intriguing and attention-grabbing. Maybe it would be interesting to mention that this sentence, "I am here," is pronounced by different characters in different situations at least once in each of the 7 stories. So you can find it hidden from the beginning to the end. I surely hope so. Although I didn't give any attention to that while I was writing a book. Everything I wanted to say, I fit in these 7 stories, and there wasn't any kind of hidden marketing agenda or something like that. But I think when you write from the heart, and I hope I do, then you don't think about those things at all. But I'm glad you mentioned it. I hope it is true. Yes, it sounds great. It took me 2 years to write a book. At that time I had 2 children. Now I have 3. So it was kind of challenging, as you can imagine, for me to find a free time, to find appropriate space for writing. But besides that, I have my regular job, and I'm all into music, and during the summer season I play guitar in hotels, in this one also. That's the reason I carried my laptop everywhere I would go. So I wrote very often in a car, and even somewhere outside in a quiet or shady place or something like that. So it was very challenging and interesting time for me. I can't say that I'm disciplined or organized when it comes to writing, because, as we mentioned, you need a free time, you need a quiet room, but it also requires a special mood. You have to be inspired, and this is something that you can't predict. It is something that can be fickle, but that's the beauty of the writing, I would say. Maybe the story Last Judgment, First Hearing. It is written in the form of a teenage diary. At first it seems to be a story about city of Rome, about a great artist Michelangelo, seen through the eyes of a 13-year-old boy. But as the plot develops, it becomes clear that this is not a story about Michelangelo, not even that kind of romance that is in there in the story. It is a story about finding one's own identity in a challenging adolescent period. And one of the main characters in this story is a professor who opens his heart to a chosen group of students. And that event ignites a spark in that boy that determines the whole direction of his life. That event will help him to overcome some huge obstacles in his life, such as a speech impediment or abusive parent and so on. I think life itself can be very inspiring. It's from my experience, of course. Also, my children are a great source of inspiration to me. I think some historical figures or great artists, such as writers, musicians, can also be inspiring. Inspiration is everywhere. I write from my own point of view. I write from my experience, and I want to put myself in a position to give advice or to provide some kind of explanation as what one should learn from this book or something like that. My aim was to write inspiring, thought-provoking, and spiritual book in a way. And I hope I've succeeded, but I think it will be the best for the readers to find their own meaning and to experience the book in their own way. And I think it should be the case with every form of art, not only with my book, not only with literature. It was Steppenwolf by Hermann Hesse. I also read Tao Te Ching, a Croatian translation of that ancient Chinese text. It consists 80 poems, and it was written, as the legend says, by one old and wise man, Lao Tzu, and it was written more than 2,500 years ago, but it still consists great messages, and I think it can be a wonderful guiding light even today for a moral, ethical and spiritual way of life, I would say. I hope so. Currently I'm not writing much, but I have almost the whole book in my head. I imagine that as some kind of blend of historical and modern fiction, but also it will be on the same line of I'm here, some kind of journey towards discovering fulfillment and sense of freedom in a different personal and historical circumstances, I would say. But it's a long way from idea to published book.